without taking much time, I'll request Mr. Basanta Raj Kumar, Chief Conservator of Forest, Government of Punjab, to share his thoughts. I'm again requesting all of you, if you can limit your speech to 7 to 8 minutes, because I have been told that Chief Guest is on his way. Over to you, Mr. Basanta Raj Kumar. Huge round of applause for him, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Very happy to be here because the topic is very relevant. And I would like to thank the organizers and the stakeholders involved in organizing this. Because climate change is real. Global warming is real. 2 months back, I was in Jakarta to attend an event. And although I like to be informed about many things, I was not aware that Indonesia is building a brand new capital city. The reason is the capital city is sinking. Not only sinking, but one of the reasons is the sea level is also rising. So in a few decades, you may not see Jakarta. So they are already building a new city. 2019, I was in Cairo to attend another meeting. And just for the heck of it, I visited Sharm el-Sheikh, where COP27 is happening, because it happens to be one of the most beautiful coastal cities I have ever seen. People talk about Cairo, but it's a very old city, like inside of New Delhi, except for perhaps Giza and other ancient monuments. It's, to be very frank, a horrible city. But Sharm el-Sheikh, beautiful city. But again, it's on the edge of the Red Sea and near the mouth of the Suez Canal. And at that time also they were thinking about how the sea level is rising. And maybe that is one of the reasons why COP27 is being held there, to emphasize the point of how our coastal cities are in grave danger. Another interesting point is we speak about green innovations, sustainable developments, even global warming and climate change. But we have been speaking for about nearly 30 years now. What have we achieved? There is a conflict going on between Ukraine and Russia. And people are not conflict about the war. People in Europe is concerned about the energy crisis. And while the West has almost the technology to bring about our green energy needs, but the pace at which we are moving forward, or the scale in which we would like to have it, is not actually taking place. That is why, despite all of us in the environment sector doing our best for the last 30, 40 years, we are still dependent on fossil fuels. As a result of this ongoing conflict, places like Germany, they are thinking about starting the nuclear reactors again, because you have to meet the energy requirements. Maybe go back to coal. Anyway, I'm saying this because we are having this discussion today because it's very cliche to have a gathering or a meeting or a seminar on something which is very, very relevant. But what do we do when we go back? We forget about it. So I would like to request the organizers to make specific recommendations of what would be the outcome of this particular discussion that we are having, so that we can do something realistic about it. Because we have only been talking, and then we have not been having realistic targets and doable, actionable goals. To start with, I'll start from myself. I'm looking up to the forest clearance cases, and I find that one of the stakeholders today is Syngas. And because Syngas happens to be dealing with one of the purer forms of natural gases. I have fast-tracked the forest clearance cases for you, and that is our contribution, my specific personal contribution. And there are 3-4 cases. I'll do it as soon as possible. That is one of my contributions. Second thing is, most of the developing countries are now either in Asia or more so in Africa, and they need a lot of energy. And those energies, because of the technological challenges, you are still dependent on the fossil fuels. And that is how the technology transfer should happen, which is not happening, as I was mentioning, for about the last 30 years. So what is needed is, again, localized maybe startups involving the local people, the local communities, whereby they can make local changes. And some of the things that we plan, we should be planning with future environmental perspectives in mind. One of the best example is, probably all of you must have heard about the Aral Sea, the 4th largest sea in the world. It is almost disappeared now, because during the Soviet era, it was thought that the cotton production is controlled by the West, and to counter that one, they want to produce more. So Uzbekistan, the Aral Sea is in the boundary between Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan. Anyway, in this area, the water which was feeding the Aral Sea was diverted to other areas for cash crops, basically for cotton. And although that purpose has been served, the cotton has risen to record productions, the sea has died. Totally, there's almost nothing remains of that sea now. And the people and the community living there has migrated to other places. That's why we need to plan accordingly, because it has huge environmental context. Now, what are the solutions? Coming back to local things, what we have been doing, I'm basically from the forest department. So Professor Saab was suggesting about going away from the linear plantations to maybe small mini forest. The reason why we do linear plantation is because, Professor Saab, you would be knowing that almost 70% of the forest in Punjab is linear forest. And that is because, since we do not have any real true sense of the word forest areas, in 1958, all the sides of roads, canals, and railways have been declared as forest areas, and there we do our plantations. We do have some compact areas, which we call Rakh in the western part, Amritsar, Gurdaspur, etc., and Bir in the eastern part, in Patiala, Sangrur, Mansa, etc. And you would be happy to know, Professor Saab, that we have created more than 300 such forests, which we thought, I come from the northeast, where the forest area is huge. And we have a concept which is also prevalent in South India, the concept of sacred forest, a wooded area which is associated with a god or a deity. And you do not cut down the trees, or you do not damage them, because you think it is associated with some god or some religious sentiments. So what we did here was, we created these small compact forests, rural in urban areas also, and we gave them the name of Nanak Bagiji, associated with Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And they are doing well, and we followed the Miyawaki model, in where we, in a compact area, the maximum number of trees can be planted by using different species. Another one is, this present government, our government, idolizes Shahid Bhagat Singh. So what we did was, of the 117 constituencies, we are involving all the elected representatives to adopt a village and plant 40,000 plant each. So 40,000 into 117 mini forest we are creating, and we have given the name Shahid Bhagat Singh Haryaval Leher, a green wave kind of a thing. And also, because we have very little forest, we need to encourage the local people, and because almost 85% of the area is under agriculture, and one of the need is for diversification. Also, we are encouraging agroforestry, and a lot of incentives are there. I have put an alarm for 10 minutes. I'll do it myself. Yeah. And so the incentives, one of the incentives given is to link the plantations that they produced by the agroforestry people along with the wood-based industries, as well as link them with carbon credit issues, so that they not only earn by selling their wood material to the wood-based industries, but also by earning carbon credits. Another point which I would like to mention is one of the best carbon sinks are the wetlands. And very surprisingly for many people in Punjab is that despite having very, very little forest, we have a large number of wetlands are being taken up because most of the pollutants, like for example, Harike is one of the best wetlands in northern India. And many people would be surprised to know that you have the very rare and endangered riverine dolphins, the Indus dolphins there. And this is the top of the food chain. So the presence of this particular species signifies that the health of the wetland is doing very well, despite the fact that it is the confluence of the river Bias and the Satluj. And upstream of the Satluj, there are huge polluting industries there. And despite the best efforts of the Pollution Control Board, a lot of effluents, untreated as well as semi-treated, are there. And we face the problem of huge numbers, thousands of dead fish happening every year. And the last point I would like to make is we are also making our buildings both at the headquarters. If some of you have visited, you might be knowing. Otherwise, I would invite you. It's in Sector 68 Mohali, next to Fortis, and one of the best energy efficient. Everything inside is sensor driven. Lighting, power, including AC, and in winter the heater is sensor driven. If the person is not there for 2 minutes, everything will be blacked out. Nothing will be working. When the person walks in, sensor will be there, and the light and the other energy sources will take place. This we have tried to recreate in 5 of the divisions that we have. From the 17, 5 we are already having now. And almost all the nurseries where we produce our plants, we require energy for the irrigation purposes and other needs. We are shifting to the solar power. And by about 2 years' time, we should be totally dependent on relying on the solar energy. So this is the little things that we are doing, keeping in mind that those little steps helps us in making the a larger objective achievable. Thank you so much. And I would like to request, sir, Namaskar, sir. It's very bad manners, but I have to leave. I don't like to say this because my relative is undergoing a surgery operation in PGI. I left there to attend this because it's very close to my heart and I have to leave. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Basanta Raj Kumar, Chief Conservator of Forest Department, Government of Punjab, for sharing his thoughts.